don't go that way. Go. We're leaning a little bit.
Wow,
all right.
What's up?
I can't. What do I even say? I don't know. What's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Trina. This is my best friend Siena. She's done a lot of the vlogs and stuff. We're gonna do a... I'm sorry. We've had an interesting day. We're gonna do a girl talk video. We give advice that we're probably unqualified to give. Yeah. But nonetheless,
we're gonna give it anyway.
Yeah, it should be helpful. So, because, you know, we could give advice that maybe we would need.
Yeah.
You know, partying in college versus not partying in college. I thought this would be interesting because I party in college and she does not.
I do not, no.
So I thought it'd be interesting to do like a different take. I personally party in college, but I party differently than other people party because I don't drink and I don't do anything else. I just go to the party, I dance with my friends, and then I'm like, okay, bye. I usually leave very early. I usually stay like 40 minutes. I just want to get dressed up and then go have fun for like 40 minutes, take some pictures, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. So I feel like partying is good if you do it like in that way.
Do it responsibly. Yes. Don't be stupid.
Exactly.
Like, personally, I don't party, but also that's just not my scene, really. Yeah. Like, the first year I was at school, I didn't party just because I didn't really want to. Like, also, our campus is a dry campus. Not really my thing. Like, I just have so much going on anyway, and I'd want to leave after maybe 10 minutes. Like,
yeah.
I walk in the door, see everybody, turn around and leave. That would be me. So I'm like, I just don't even go.
I usually go to the party, leave early, get Taco Bell, watch a movie. It's always the same thing. Next question. How to tell a boy you like him. I also thought this would be interesting because, you know, I feel like we got this one, kind of. So, my suggestion, don't wait a long time, because if you wait, they might be gone. Ask me how I know that. So definitely don't wait a long time. How to tell them that you like them? I would just say straight up say it. Like, ask them to talk and then just straight up say it. And if that's like really, really hard for you, then maybe say it in a way where you don't have to look them in the eyes. You know what I mean? Like in a dark room or something. Totally haven't done that before.
No.
Totally haven't said it facing the other direction either.
No.
But you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? If it comes out, it comes out.
As long as it happens.
Exactly. So that's mine. What you got?
I'm not the person to ask for advice, but
that's why I thought you'd
for this. Personally, I have never outright said it.
Hey, it's hard, okay? It's hard. I only said it because I had to.
Let him do the talking. I'll leave it at that.
Hey, that works too. Depends on the type of person you are.
And then she's like, yep. Or, you know, if you're me, say, can I think about it? Don't do that.
No,
don't do that.
I would not recommend that.
Would not recommend unless you have a man that is very patient, because it works out eventually and it's okay. I would write him a nice note. That's the route. That's the route I went with. I wrote him a nice little note. Again, I didn't explicitly say it, but you know what? I thought the note itself was enough. So.
Exactly. And I feel like it depends on the type of guy you're dealing with. Because, like, the type of guys that I deal with is very different than that. Like, mine is, like, if I don't upfront
Start over.
Restart. If I don't upfront say it to them, then they're like, they literally be like, you either gotta tell me or, like, you're leaving. And I'm like, oh, I like you. Okay, bye.
See ya.
But, you know, if you have someone that's like that, that's, like, actually patient, like, you can write a letter, that's great, too. So, it really depends on the type of person you're dealing with, you know what I mean? You gotta
know your audience.
But, yeah, thank you.
Your
I
audience.
was like, what am I looking for? Know your audience. Exactly. How to deal with feeling left out in your friend group. I felt this a lot, like, in school before, so I thought it would be, like,
that's a good one.
Because I feel like we both have, like, I mean, everyone has, like, their, like, you know, pros and cons with, like, friendships and, like, friend groups and stuff. And obviously everyone changes friend groups. But I feel like, depending on, like, how left out you feel like, I feel like you should start by, like, talking to them.
Yeah, I would say, like if you're gonna complain about being, like, felt left out, you have to at least be putting in the effort to, like, be in the group and not just be not putting yourself in a position where you are being left out. Because, like, that's one thing that bothers me so much. Some people are like, oh yeah, I feel like you never include me. Like, we invite you, you just stand there and you don't do anything. So, like, you have no reason to be complaining about being left out if you don't include yourself either.
Or, like, on the same, like, kind of thing, like, friendship is, like, a two-way thing. Yeah. So, like, you have to also invite the people to do things. Or, like,
sure, I can invite you to do all the things, but, like, if you don't invite me to do things with you, then it's
Yeah.
I just have so much going on, like, I'm not going to remember to reach out all the time.
And that's why I feel like everyone's busy in some way, so, like, it has to be, like, even.
Yeah,
you know?
so, like, if you're feeling left out, like, evaluate, are you truly, like, including yourself in the group, or are you just, like, being there? Like, you do have to put in the effort, especially, like, as adults. Like, as kids, it's fine, because, like, you just run around, and you don't even think about it, but, like, as adults, everyone has their own lives, and everyone's busy, and, like, if you're not going to put in the effort, then the other person probably isn't either.
I don't know the rest of the words.
I don't either. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say my hair is like shedding everywhere. That's nice. I just it's
going back on
it's all okay.
That's okay.
It doesn't matter.
It's alright.
I can shed. What's one thing you wish someone told you growing up? This one, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I could say so many things.
I'm gonna need some time to think on that one.
I would say that, like, everyone tells you, like, the same, like, stereotypical things, I feel like, when you grow up, right? Like, you hear, like, the same thing, like, okay, enjoy your time when you're younger, you know, like, don't care what anyone thinks, like, take the risk, those type of things. But I feel like when you actually really start to think about it, you're like, okay, they're actually right.
Yeah.
And I wish that, like...
I took the time to think about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, also, like, no one really told me, I feel like, that, like, it's okay for you to do different things than people your age. But, like...
Yeah.
Not, like, on such a, like, low level, I mean, like, on a deeper level. Because I feel like a lot of people our age, like, I know we relate on this. Like, we're very hardworking, like, we, like, work a lot, and, like, we do a lot of stuff, like, at our school, like, we're very involved in, like, sports and everything else. But, like, some people aren't. Like, they're just literally at school just to
be there.
Be there.
Yeah.
And I can't relate to that.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes I struggle with that because I'm like, am I doing this wrong? Am I doing life wrong? Am I wasting my time? Like, something like that. So I feel like someone telling me that, like, it's okay if you're doing something different. And, like, if you're, like, I guess, like, working more towards your future than most people your age, like, that's okay.
Yeah, like, that's
and it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. Because it can be seen as, like, a bad thing. People can make you feel bad.
Like, you're working too hard, or you're not spending enough time, like, living your life.
But. Exactly. But I feel like if you are happy with what you're doing, that's what matters.
I'd say I wish someone told me that, like, it's really not that serious. Because I took everything way too seriously, especially, like, freshman through junior year, probably, of high school. Like, I was really hard on myself. I still am, but, like, I'm not as bad anymore. But, like, I just took everything way too seriously when I learned, like, life really isn't that serious. Like, have fun. In reality, nobody really cares. Like,
yeah.
Do whatever you want. It's really not that deep. Like,
yeah.
I can confidently go out in an outfit that is 100% mismatched and my hair is an absolute disaster with the guy I'm interested in, and I'm like, well, nobody really cares.
No, literally. Like, if you think about it, like, you're just, like, this one tiny person on this giant world. It can feel like everyone pays attention to you, but, like,
in reality, you don't. And, like,
you, in the nicest way possible.
In the nicest...
You don't matter that much.
You matter to your people, and, like, it shouldn't matter. You should be able to be yourself around your people, and it's not gonna matter. And, like, the saying I live by now is, I'm not here to impress anybody.
Sorry, my class.
Oh my gosh, it's, like, fucking.
How to handle it when something doesn't work out for you.
Just kind of accept it and move on. Like, again, don't take anything too personally. Like, it's super easy to do, and, like, internalize it and take it as, like, a reflection of you. Just to take it with a grain of salt and being like, okay, this is a learning opportunity, I can learn from this, but then just let it go.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, but, like, there's no point in living in your past, because you're gonna miss everything that's in front of you while you do that.
Yeah. And I also think, like, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So, like, if it didn't work out for you, it wasn't meant for you. So, like, then you can just be like, okay, it wasn't meant for me, and move on.
I say, there's so many times I thought something was just gonna, like, absolutely destroy me, but...
Yeah. But it doesn't.
I'm so happy with where I am now, and I wouldn't be here now without those experiences, so...
I agree. I feel like a lot of stuff that hasn't worked out for me is, like... It completely changes your life. Like,
it does.
All the little stuff can always add up, but, like, not in a bad way. It's like it all leads you to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So whether it works out or doesn't work out, it's meant to be, I feel like. How do you know when it's time to let go of something or someone? I don't know if I'm qualified for this one.
I don't know what you can talk about though.
No, I feel like I've never let go of something or somebody in my life. But if I actually listen to myself, this is what I would do. I would say if it's somebody, I feel like if you're having a really hard time letting go of them, you just gotta, like, cut it. Like, cut all the ties. Distance yourself. Like, me personally could never, but, you know, that's what you should do. And something, I feel like, I mean, it depends what you're letting go of, I guess, but, like, keep trying to let go of it, like, in whatever way works for you. I feel like some people, it's, like, getting your mind off it, like, that's me. Like, if I'm trying to, like, forget something or let go of something, it's always, like, I usually go for a lot of walks and stuff, like, try to get it off my head. Takes some time, but it works.
Pick something else. I think an important thing to learn, too, is, like, everything in your life is there for a season. Like, no season is ever meant to be forever, and, like, it can be really hard to accept, but, like, some people are in your life for a season and some people are in there for a long season, but, like, seasons change, and, like, learning to be okay with that. And, like, it's hard. I've, like, some very people that are hard to let go, but just, like, understanding that that chapter of your life is done and you have to turn the page to, like, have more experiences. So just, everything has a time and a place, and that's set up for us. I mean, obviously the Lord's looking out for us no matter what, but just learning to live where you are and not wish for something you didn't have, because you're already in a different season, and that's okay.
I feel like you were speaking to my soul. Maybe I needed that. How do you define success? I actually feel like I have, like, the perfect answer for this, because I feel like people are so quick to, like, judge other people's success. Like,
Yeah.
let's say, like, I don't know. Let's say I see you living in Hawaii, right? And you got this, like, $1 million house. I'm like, wow, she's successful. But then, like, our other friend is, like, a small author living in, I don't know, Pennsylvania, right? And I'm like, okay, she's not successful. But it's, like, not about that. It's, like, maybe the other person is, like, really happy. And I would say that's successful. Like, if you're happy in what you're doing and you're living, like, a stable,
Yeah.
like, life somehow and, like, a healthy life, I feel like that makes you more successful than anyone else. It's, like,
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't matter if you're rich or, like, if you're famous or, like, any of that. Like, if you're happy doing what you're doing, you're successful.
No, I agree.
Because you're successful in life.
Yeah. I'd say for me it's less about success outwardly and more about, like, being fulfilled and finding fulfillment in what I'm doing. Like, I don't care to be rich, personally. Like, obviously have enough and be stable and not be, like, worried about things. But, like, even if I was, the Lord will provide. And so long as I'm fulfilling and feel fulfilled in what I'm doing, that to me matters more than being outwardly successful.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. Because I feel like, at the end of the day, that's what matters, you know?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to get to the end and be like, man, I wish I enjoyed life more.
Exactly. How do you know when to take the risk?
I mean,
That's a hard
I
one.
say, what's going to leave you with the least amount of regrets?
We had this conversation a couple weeks ago.
I was going to say, whenever I'm thinking of something like, man, that's kind of risky, I'm like, am I going to regret not doing it in 20 years? Because, like, if I am, I don't want to live with a lifetime of regret. Because even if it goes really badly, that's okay, separate it and move on.
Yeah, like, you tried. So.
You literally only live once.
Personally, I usually make, like, a pros and cons list.
I say just straight go for it.
Very different takes on that. But usually, like, I do end up going for it, because I usually look at the pros and cons, and usually the cons aren't as high as the pros. And so then I'm like, okay, I might as well, like, just go for it, because I also don't want to regret it, you know? And I have a lot of people, like, you would tell me that, so then it gets in my head, and I'm like, I don't want to regret something, so I'm just gonna do it.
I can't.
She's just making the goofiest face. How to avoid letting social media determine your self-worth. I feel like I have an interesting take on this.
So I think you'll have a better take on this than I will. But.
Yeah, but we had, like, the two different perspectives, I feel like. Because, like, obviously my life revolves a lot around social media, which is, like, sounds weird to say, but, like, it's true, it does. And I feel like when I first started, like, my YouTube channel and everything, I was very much, like, so, like, okay, my worth depends on, like, the numbers and, like, all that. And now, like, I don't care, you know? And, like, even, like, the perspective of, like, because I have, like, social media is, like, just for me and not, like, for the whole internet, too. I feel like it's not about, like, what other people are doing on social media or what you see. It's, like, you post what you want to post, and if you're happy with your life, it shouldn't matter what other people are doing with their life.
Yeah.
And it can be easy because, like, when you see it on social media, you're like, okay, they're living a better life or whatever. But I feel like it's not about that.
No.
About, like, just even your life. So I feel like social media can be really fun for you to post your own stuff and everything. If you don't, like, get stuck in it. Because it doesn't really determine your worth at all. Like, the numbers don't, the people don't, what other people post doesn't.
I think from, like, I don't want to say consumer standpoint, but that's the only word I got. So
okay, marketing.
I'm a business major, what can I say? I would say just, like, learning that social media is just a highlight reel. Like, even for your own life. I look back and I write posts sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, I wasn't in a great place with those pictures, but just, like, learning that that's where it comes from everyone else, too, and just, like, it's a highlight reel. That's what it's meant to be. I mean, it's not meant to be anything more than that. And obviously, you can share stuff that's personal on there, but just understanding that everybody's life that you see, again, is just their highlight reel. And again, it's not that deep. If you want to post a picture, post a picture.
And also like, posting whatever. We said also posting whatever you want is true. Like, I stopped caring this year, finally, for once in my life, and I just post whatever I want to post, and I feel like I'm so much happier.
And, like, don't be afraid to archive stuff, too. Like, I re-went through my Instagram, and I had, like, some posts, like, from prom or whatever with someone that I went with, and I was like, this doesn't matter anymore. Like, I can just get rid of it. I did. You can look, pull up the receipts. But, like, I just got rid of it, and, like, some other posts that were just, like, really old. I'm like, no, that's not really me anymore. Just get rid of it.
Long-distance friendships / relationships. Thought this was interesting, because technically we are long-distance friendships.
Technically,
like, friendships? Friends. When we were at school. And technically I was in a, like, long-distance relationship for, like, You know, scratch that. It wasn't even like a month, but like, you know. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we have like something to speak of. So I feel like a lot of people are so like anti like long distance friendships, relationships, whatever. But I feel like it's not about the distance; it's about the person that you're with. Like if the person is worth it,
you can make it work. Hard. You can make it work. And
definitely.
Like your freshman year of college, I was still home. I took an extra year of high school. We called like 3 times. Yeah. The whole year, but we came back this summer and it was literally fine.
The same. Like nothing changed.
So like, if you really want to make it work, you can. And like, I have some longer distance friends like that I don't talk to, and it's still kind of weird, but like you can make it work if you want to make it work. Definitely.
It's all about the person, I feel like, too.
Yeah, and like
how you do it.
We can send stuff to each other on Instagram and
we do
not text for a month, and it's okay. And like randomly call each other and give little life updates and
I feel like doing that helps a lot. Yeah, like the little stuff like that.
Try to plan.
Just like I'm thinking of you, or like here's what I'm up to.
Or like, how's your day going? Finding someone that knows where you're coming from, I think, is huge, because like our standard of like keeping in touch is very different than like
a lot of people.
What some people would say, but it's also, it works for our schedule, and we understand that we're both running around like crazy, and like we take advantage of the time that we do have. Definitely. And like make it meaningful, I think. Because
I feel like if we didn't understand that about each other, then
it would be a lot harder.
I'd be like, oh, she just hates me. Like, she takes 2 weeks to answer my text. What do you do when you feel behind all your friends? Because I have been there.
Been there, done that.
I would say, like, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, like, you and your success doesn't match up with everybody around you all the time, and that's okay. Like, people go through, like, different stages of life at different stages, I guess. Yeah. Like, for example, I didn't get my license until I was 20. Which is very late, and like all my friends got theirs when they were like 16, like 17. Yeah. So I always felt behind that, but also it's like, you know, if it's something you can't really change at the end of the day either, like I couldn't do it any faster, then it's like, it is what it is. Yeah. And just because it's like different than them doesn't mean it's bad. Like, yeah, it was just okay. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, everybody moves at a different pace in life too, and like, it's not a race either. I feel like some people forget that. Like, everything moves so fast nowadays, but like, it doesn't have to. So just taking the time to like slow down and appreciate where you're at too, I think helps a lot. Cause like PSA, I guess, but I'm 20. I just went on my first date like a week ago. Like,
she did.
It's okay. Don't tell nobody. But like, that's okay, and that's how I wanted to live my life, and I was okay with that. And like, sure, there was times when I felt behind, but like, just appreciating yourself for who you are too, and it comes with maturity too. Like, I definitely felt that when I was younger, and like even in sports I've always been behind because I started later just because of other things and like injuries and stuff that put me back. But again, just like doing things for the love of doing them and not because of like doing it for someone else or where you're at or your performance. It's just so important, because once you start doing that, you separate your performance from your worth, or like your work from your worth, and everything just becomes so much more meaningful when you do it that way.
Especially when it comes to sports, too. Oh. It's going to be so easy to be like, oh, I'm behind them. Because I've also been, like, always behind. And it's, like, it's easy to, like, compare and be like, well, they're so much better. But, like, it's not about that. If you're having fun doing it, and, like, I feel like that's pretty much what matters. Like, you don't have to be the best at everything. You don't have to match everybody else's, like, levels. Like, as long as everyone has their own talents.
Yeah. As long as you're working hard and, like, you're making progress in your own life, your progress doesn't have to look the same as someone else's.
Exactly. It's always going to be different. Were you scared to turn 20?
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Yeah. Like, so much adult stuff happens in your 20s that I just feel like I'm wildly unprepared for.
No, literally.
Like, I understand I got a couple more years and I'm going to be in my 20s for a while, but, like, you buy a car, you buy a house, you move out, you start a real adult job. Like, all those things is just terrifying.
When I start to see, like, our friends, like,
getting engaged. I'm like,
yeah, I'm gonna be like, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Because I'm calling right now. I feel like I'm gonna be behind in that, so I'm gonna be like freaking my freak out.
No, me too.
We're gonna be back there like chilling at all the weddings. Like,
have you seen that movie that's like always a bridesmaid? Yeah. Like, oh, that's gonna be us.
We're gonna be there for every wedding. Like, maybe have a date, but like we're gonna be single still. Like, not single, but like not married.
Taken.
Yeah. So we're just gonna be like, what's up? I was terrified, especially because like you're not a teenager anymore, and like not being able to say that is like honestly kind of sad.
No, I know.
It's like, what do you mean I'm not a teenager?
Oh, I know. But even then, it's just taking it one step at a time.
Exactly. And I feel like it hasn't been that scary. Like,
no, I thought it was gonna be way worse than it was.
Yeah.
Honestly, life just kept moving, and it was what it was.
Exactly.
Like, nothing changed other than the fact that I was 20. It's just like the fact that I'm older, but
yeah, it's like, okay, we're 20.
Yeah.
And then you move on. How to balance self-care with hard work. I feel like I found it more this year though than I have the other years. Like, especially going to college, I feel like I always add more stuff to my plate. Like, I do 3 jobs, 2 sports, I manage another sport, my major's like a lot. So I feel like I'm always adding more stuff and like it makes it harder to have the self-care. But I feel like just like fitting it in when you can, you know? Like, I will sometimes have like an hour between classes and I'll go take a nap or like take a shower, read a book, something like small for yourself.
I'm an RA, so that's literally a full-time round-the-clock job, and I'm doing a dual degree program, so I'm doing my master's and my bachelor's, potentially double minoring. I'm in a sport. It's insanity. But again, just like taking the time and like also understanding if you're having a bad self-care week, like that's okay. Or even if it's just something like, yeah, I have a lot of homework to do, but like let me sit down and watch a movie with a friend, and like I might have to stay up late to like get it finished after that, but just giving yourself time. That's
how I feel too. Because I used to be so like, I can't hang out until I finish all my homework or whatever. But then I'd be like, okay, sometimes taking like a break to hang out with someone is like actually better for you. Like I feel like you'll focus better on the work that you're doing. Because like maybe you just need like a brain break. Like our brains can only do so much, you know, and our bodies. Like physically, if it's like sports, whatever. Because sometimes I will literally put myself in the dance studio for like 4 hours. And so I'm literally laying on the floor like dead. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to call it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just go take a shower, watch a movie, go to bed. And like sometimes that's just like all you gotta do, you know? Like something to kind of like get a break from your brain and your body and just.
And also like self-care doesn't have to be what social media makes it. Like it doesn't have to be this whole thing. Like self-care for me does not look like sitting down and doing a like facial and like doing all this stuff. Like that's just not like, it doesn't work with my schedule, and that's just not who I am. So like self-care more for me looks like, okay, I'll sit down and watch a show with you, or I'll go for a run, or I'll go like to the gym, and that's okay for it to not look like what social media has kind of like stigmatized around self-care. Like I don't take a bath. I
do take a bath.
I also don't have a bathtub, but like
I feel like that might
out, but like it doesn't have to look like what everybody makes self-care like this whole huge thing. Like, or sitting down and writing a page in your journal, or reading a couple pages of a book, like, or even if it is going on your phone for 20 minutes, like
like it's
that's
like
okay.
Find what works for you for self-care. Like it, like what you're saying, it's different for everybody. So what might be like what someone else does doesn't have to be what you do.
Yeah, there's no pressure for it to be that way either. Because I feel like for a long time I was like, oh, I'm not doing self-care, I'm not doing all these cute little things. But like,
that's like not about that.
It's not me, and it's not my lifestyle either, and that's fine.
Like sometimes for me, like when I like have so much to do, I'll tell my friends and be like, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go like take some time. They're gonna be like, what are you gonna do? I'll be like, I'm literally gonna go sit on my bed, hold my guinea pig, and scroll on TikTok. They're like,
that's okay.
I'm like, but that's my self-care. Like genuinely, like it might not seem like it because like you're scrolling on TikTok, but like it is. It's like a break. You know, so that works for you. That was our little girl talk advice for maybe 2 unqualified people, or partially qualified.
Together, maybe half qualified.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of balance each other out a little bit. So
hope
that was our little takes.
Thank you for watching.
Love you. Bye.